devices could be helpful even to modern students, because
this section coming up, Cassie, makes my point. Here it is now, see?
2,500 years ago. Students complain, that they don't have anything to say, but if they have a way of unlocking what's inside their head, then, of course, it's going to pour out. And, they're always surprised then that how much they know, because, but what they need is some key to unlock the various reservoirs of knowledge that they have.
Okay, but what does this have to do with Burke's pentad?
Well, this show is going to be about ways of getting at a subject, and Burke's pentad is a very good way, a key.
You mean getting ideas? I thought we'd already dealt with that in another show.
No. Once you have an idea, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have any ideas about the idea, if you get what I mean.
No, I don't.
No. Well, maybe this might help.
Well, I think mostly the pentad is a way of explaining the dramatic situation that surrounds a piece of writing. Perhaps the best way to put it is to explain the dramatic context or the components of a writing situation in dramatic terms. And as a teaching device or as a way of controlling writing, it's a good way to probe a writing situation in order to figure out you should make it right when you're writing.
All right, I get the point, but I still don't understand what the pentad...
He's getting to that, Cassie. Listen.
I guess the best way to break down the pentad is into a set of 5 basic questions: who, what, when, where, why, and actually how. That's 6 questions, but 2 work together. Basically, I think most writing students have used it in the form of what previously would have been called journalistic questions. But I think if you look closely into Burke's pentad, it's a possibility for doing a lot more serious and deeper probing of a writing situation than the simple who, what, when, where, why questions of a journalistic nature would enable you to do. Those questions seem to emphasize the subject and the action as it appears on the surface of a situation, while Burke's pentad, I think, puts the writer in the situation of a kind of self-conscious analysis of what it is he's writing for, to whom he's writing, and a kind of deeper sense of the less surface sense of the purpose of a writing.
You see, the pentad is like a 5-finger exercise for examining a subject. That's what. Actor or agent, that's who. Means or how. Purpose or why. And then there's...
Situation.
Call it scene.
All right, scene, which is when and where together, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I still can't see how it can actually help you write.
Well, you use it before you write. It's a way of breaking up a subject into parts that might otherwise seem too difficult or even too simple to discuss.
Such as?
Such as your lump of clay. Now, to some people, this might be too difficult to write about because to them it's just, well, a lump of clay. It's not part of their daily lives. But you are a sculptor as well as a writer, and working with clay all the time. But you might still have difficulty writing about it. It might be so much a part of your life that you wouldn't know where to begin.
Okay, what if I've used Professor Burke's pentad and I still couldn't get started?
Well, in that case, smart girl that you are, I'm sure you'd find another technique to examine your subject.
There are others?
Oh, there are several. The pentad is useful for certain kinds of subjects and others for others.
When would I use the pentad?
Well, maybe this will help. Let's see. This is the one here.
Burke's pentad has so many uses. Anytime human beings are involved in anything, the pentad can give a useful handle on exploring the situation. Abstract topics lend themselves to the pentad because those are human achievements or mistakes. Social events which involve human beings in a scene, acting for reasons, with purposes, are useful subjects for the pentad to use. Historical events, literary works, pieces of art, music, any human achievements. The pentad is a way of looking, says Burke, at how human beings behave. We are social creatures, and anything that involves our universe and our society, is capable of being examined by using the pentad.
All right, I'll show you one more. Oh, boy, look at the time. We'll have to take this up in the morning, Cassie.
No, I'd like to see what you've got. Besides, I have to wait for my ride.
Oh, who's your ride?
Norm. Last time I saw him, he was in the hall talking about his skit, the one he and Jenny did.
Oh, that one.
So I have a few minutes at least.
Well, I do have to go, but you know how to work the machine, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, the interview is rather long, and the pieces that you need to listen to are rather scattered, but I think if you do some searching, you'll find it well worth your while.
To use Burke's pentad came.
Do you
when I
mind
realized
turning
I
that thing
didn't have
down?
time today to talk to every student
Fred?
about the topics I wanted to assign to them.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just got so wrapped up in this that I forgot where I was. You see, sometimes when I'm trying to work at home, the kids will have the TV on too loud, and I'm sorry. Maybe I better go back to the art department where I belong.
No, it's all right, Fred, really. You just stay here. We'll all be gone in a few minutes anyway. There must be some sort of problem to get you out of sorts. What do you have to do? Invent the wheel by 8 o'clock?
That's pretty close. At least think up a way to get things rolling. Oh, you see, Lynn and I belong to PACDIG. Oh, I know, that sounds like a video game, but it's not. It stands for Parent and Kid Discussion Group. It's part of the Foster Parents Program. Once a month we get together to discuss something deep, and it's a chance for the foster parents and their kids to get together and talk on, an adult level.
That sounds like a great idea.
Well, it is. It's a really great idea. My problem is that the meeting is at our house tonight, and I have to introduce the topic for discussion.
Oh, and you don't have a subject.
Oh, no, I've got a subject. We decided on that last month.
Well, what is it?
Television?
Well, then I don't see what your problem is, Fred. You've practically grown up in TV.
I know, it ought to be easy, but it isn't. You see, Gwen, I've got to get the ball rolling in the right direction. If I just stand up and say, the topic for tonight is television, any opinions? I know it'll happen. The kids will start talking about their favorite shows, and the parents will complain that the kids watch TV too much and play it too loud. And there we are, going around and around again in the same old circle. Believe me, I've been to a lot of these meetings. Now, what I need is something new, different, and guest talking.
And that's what you've been working on, huh?
Yeah. I just wanted to have my thoughts down on paper so I wouldn't stumble over my words. See, I only need 2 or 3 sentences, but I can't even come up with that.
Oh, no! I broke it!
Don't worry, Cassie. It's not broken, just jammed. Everybody knew that sooner or later.
The job Fred was here to unjam the machine. Maybe one day when he's in a jam, you could return the favor. Fred, I've got to run. Good luck.
Thanks, Gwen. See ya.
Okay.
Thanks, Fred. I really mean that.
Well, since it wasn't broken, it wasn't too hard to fix.
What did Gwen wish you good luck about?
Oh, I've just got a little something to do, and I'm having a little trouble doing it, that's all.
Well, maybe I can help. Would you like some coffee?
Yeah.
You sure you don't want some help?
Oh, no thanks, Cassie, but you got enough problems of your own.
No, really, I would like to help. I mean, if I can. So what is it?
Well, it's nothing big, Cassie, but I'm just stuck. It's like I've locked myself out of the house and I can't find the right key.
Well, you'll have to tell me a little bit more than that.
Okay. Well, you see, I have to develop about something, and I don't have to say very much, just a little. And it's something I should have a lot of opinions about, except I don't.
Well, maybe you do, and you don't know you.
Well, maybe. Anyway, I have to know to a group tonight, and I just don't seem to be able to get started. See, what I need is some sort of...
A key, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, I just might have the right key to unlock your mysterious subject.
Really?
Yeah, really, it's a skeleton key, but it can open up any door. At least it ought to.
Oh, Cassie? I'll tell you about my mysterious subject if you'll tell me about your mysterious key.
Well, it's not really mysterious. It's just a way of unlocking mysteries.
Burke's
Pentad.
Pentad? Hmm? Oh, I get it. Penta, 5, like Pentagon. Penta, 5, like Pentagon.
I never thought of that, but you're right.
Okay, Cassie, now show me how to do the...
Cassie, I'm leaving now. Do you want to lift or not?
Oh, yes, sir. I hope that helped you, Fred.
Yeah, thanks, Cassie.
Oh, what's the matter? Something broken, Mr. Fix-It?
No, not broken. Just a little jam. that's
Jam? How?
all.
Oh, come on. What are friends for?
Well, basically, I'm having a little trouble getting started. Cassie
Hey,
is...
Fred. Cassie's fine, especially for someone who's still learning. But you should have come to the expert. Come on, you know when it comes to words, I'm the fix-it guy around here, huh? All right, look, don't worry about a thing. We'll get together on this, and I guarantee you in 5 minutes you'll be so started your only problem would be how to stop. You know, I'm not the sort of guy to hide his own life. Believe me.
Still working, Fred? 6:15. Not even getting overtime. Hey, how's it going with the TV thing? Oh, Gwen mentioned it to me. Cassie did tell you about the Pentad, didn't she? It really works, you know.
Not for me, it doesn't. Jenny, if I have the materials and the right tools, I can make just about anything. I'm as good with my hands as Norm is with words. I'm not a born writer, but I'm not dumb either. Except right now, dumb is how I feel. I've got the material, I mean my subject, and Cassie's given me the right tool. I don't know how to use it.
Look, Fred, it'd be just the opposite with me. You might show me one of the tools in your workshop, and I might understand what it does, but until you showed me how to use it, I'd be lost. Just like you are now. I want to show you something. I think this'll help.
RASSL is a learning assistance center. The name stands for Reading and Study Skills Lab, and we consider to providing all kinds of learning assistance on the University of Texas at Austin campus. The Pentad program is a program that can be used on a microprocessor to help students with their writing. It was originally with as part of his dissertation, and as part of a computer-assisted laboratory that was available in the English department. We took this material and transposed it to a microprocessor, and it provided
It was okay. I didn't have time in the day to talk to every student about the topics I wanted. It was okay. I didn't have time in the day to talk to every student about the topics I wanted to assign to them. And I wanted some means for them to be able to write on topics that I didn't assign to them, that they were interested in. And in order to do that, let them choose the topic, I had to figure out a way to interact with them like Socrates would, and question them. So I started doing that using a cassette tape recorder, taping those interviews and with students on different topics, and find out what questions they liked to explore. And with that encouragement, that definition of the Pentad, basically who, what, when, where, why, and how kinds of questions, we started to think that maybe a computer might be able to ask the question. The student has a topic, and that maybe a computer might be able to ask the question. The student has a topic, and has done some reading, thinking about the topic, the incubation stage, and says, I'm ready now to go over to the lab and have an inquiry with a computer. So things are starting to simmer already. But when the student logs on to the computer, you'll first have a chance to take a look at what the Pentad is again, remind him of where the questions are coming from. And as those questions appear, the student has the possibility to keep
answering the same point of view, from the same point of view, or can just keep on getting the sequence. The computer puts in answer. The computer tries to read it and give a response. If the computer doesn't understand it, it says, well, why don't you elaborate that a little bit more for me? And to trap that, the computer a bit more for me. And to trap that.
The computer program becomes a way of teaching a question strategy to the student. Once that strategy is mastered, and that usually comes after 2 or 3 uses, that the student can then take that information and using the invention program and the questioning strategy and use that on their own.
The students that did the absolute best on the programs were the students that had done a lot of reading, had a pretty good idea of what direction they wanted to go, understood the assignment, had prepared. They were ready to be drawn out. The student that hadn't done that, hadn't gone through that first creative preparation, the questions don't help, because all they could say was, well, I'm not sure, I don't know. So preparation first, and then some kind of questioning strategy works best.
Okay, Jenny, I understand it now, and I can see how this I can see how this pentad would be a great thing for a college kid to use to prepare a term paper or whatever. But my problem isn't a school problem. This all seems so
Academic?
well, yeah, academic.
Well, it's not. You can use it to clear up all kinds of problems. My Norm even solved a murder with it.
What?
Take a look at this. Norm wrote it for the show we're working on. It's not the final version, just a sort of tryout sketch to show the project director.
Tryout?
Yeah, Gwen has some doubts about it. Norm naturally thinks it's great.
Well, what do you think?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd like to hear what you think.
Enter. Oh, you must be the police.
Yes, madam. We got your call. Oh, looks like there's been a...
Excuse me, Constable. Now, how do you know what happened? You ask the right questions.
Beg pardon, sir.
And who?
Questions.
Beg pardon, sir.
And who are you?
Inspector Pentad, madam. Inventor Pentad's foolproof 5-in-1 problem-solving system.
5 in 1.
Who, what, why, how, when, and where.
That's it.
When, where count as 1. I'll ask the questions around here.
Yes, sir.
You write notes.
Very good, sir.
Now, the questions. What has happened here?
A murder.
Right. Not yet. And who has been murdered?
My husband, Lord Tadpole.
Right. Not yet. And who are you?
Lady Judith Tadpole, widow of the late Lord John Tadpole.
Right. Not yet. And where was your husband murdered?
Why, right here.
Right here.
Here.
Don't write until I say right, understand?
But I just...
Now, Lady Tadpole, when was your husband murdered?
Oh, I don't know. After all, I wasn't here when it happened.
Oh? And why was he murdered?
Oh, I don't know. After all...
Yes, after all. Well, let's see what we do know. We do know what has happened.
A murder.
We do know who was murdered.
Lord Tadpole.
We do know where he was murdered.
But we don't know how it happened, or who did it, or why, or when.
Oh? We do know how it was done.
Oh, do?
Yes. This is how it was done. Lord Tadpole was done in by a gun.
Oh,
And we also know when he was killed.
We do?
Yes, moments ago. The gun is still smoking. And hot.
A genius.
We also know who killed Lord Tadpole and why.
We do?
Yes, there are, if I don't miss my guess, several love letters addressed to a Poopsie Tadpole from a certain Mr. Morris.
Boris! Oops!
Thank you, Lady Tadpole. Mr. Boris Fishbone. So, you've been seeing another man. Your husband discovered it and informed you he was going to divorce and disinherit you.
It's true. Everything you say is true. I did it.
Right.
So what do you think?
Well, it's clever and funny, just the way Norm is. But, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions.
Shoot.
Okay, first, why did Norm write the sketch?
To show people what Burke's pentad is and how to use it.
Okay, and how's the sketch supposed to do that?
Well, he shows the inspector solving a problem,
With the pentad.
right?
Okay. I know that Norm was a hot agency writer in New York, but if that was supposed to be a commercial for Burke's pentad, it didn't sell me.
How come?
Well, Let me see if I understand this. The point of using the pentad is that it helps you to think. I mean, you use it to find solutions that aren't obvious. It's like monkey wrench. You use it to get a grip on something, right?
Right.
Okay, and also the sketch was supposed to make you laugh, which it did, but that's all it did. I mean, you know who did it right from the start. I mean, the smoke and Gwyn's phony tears, and there wasn't any mystery to it. Oh, and another thing. Who is that supposed to be written for?
Oh, you mean the audience?
Uh-huh.
Oh, people of different ages. A lot about my age, some a little older, some a little younger.
But adults, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, frankly, the whole thing seems to be written for kids. I mean, made simple. You get the feeling that Norm doesn't think that the people who are going to see this are on his level. Now, he wrote the sketch to show what the pentad is, but he doesn't write to adults as if they are adults.
Well, that's good, Fred. You sold me. You know something else you've done?
What?
You've just used Burke's pentad.
I have.
Uh-huh. Just a minute ago you were asking why and how. Well, that's the same as purpose and means. You see, part of the idea of the pentad is that you ask the questions together, not separately. What you're saying is that Norm's means don't suit his purpose. He makes you laugh more than think.
Yeah, well, it's like a lot of TV. It tells you things, but it doesn't treat you like you can think for yourself. So you don't think. You just sit and you watch and you take it in. Oh, well, maybe that's why a lot of us watch TV. I mean, the world is pretty complicated sometimes, but on TV it all gets made simple.
Oh, I don't know that that's entirely true. I think you're overgeneralizing, Fred.
Oh, maybe. You know something?
What?
We've got my topic.
We do?
We certainly do.
Right!
Oh. Okay, listen, Jenny. How does this sound? TV entertains us and it informs us. We all agree on that, even if some of us watch it too much and play it too loud. That's a joke. Don't worry, they'll get it. But shouldn't TV do more? Shouldn't it try to make us think, too, or does it do that already?
I think you've got yourself a topic you can talk about all night.
Well, thanks to you, I do. Oh, look at the time. I better be going. Jenny? I've got a tape player at home, and I'd like to show Norm's sketch to the group. Do you think that he or Gwyn would mind if I borrowed it tonight?
No, they'd probably like to hear what the group thinks.
Great. Thanks. See ya.
Look at this one.
Three Stooges.
So your topic was a success, huh?
Oh, they talked up a storm, Cassie. You should have heard some of the things the kids were coming up with. Really thoughtful stuff. Yeah, Lynn had to kick everyone out at 11 o'clock. Otherwise, we'd still be at it. It's about the best meeting we've ever had, thanks to all of you.
No, thank you, Fred. These are going to be very helpful.
Well, we all enjoyed playing TV critic. Thanks for the coffee. I better get back to my own work.
Fred, hey, hope you haven't been waiting for me too long. Look, I've got a busy day, but I think we can get this roadblock of yours out of the way and have you rolling along in no time at all. Have a seat.
I'll stand. Look, that chair is falling apart. I told you last week to let me fix it.
I fixed it myself yesterday. It's fine. Okay, if you want to stand, that's fine too.
Okay, listen, Norm.
Look, I know. You don't want anything so academic that you can't use it. Don't worry, I'm not going to throw a bunch of dollar words at you, okay? Now, what you need here is a way to get a grip on your subject, sort of a monkey wrench, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, here's a way of looking at the subject as if it was a play. Now, in a play, you have 5 parts, right? You have the action, actor, scene, means, and purpose. I know it sounds kind of complicated, but it really isn't, and I'll show you how. Now, what's the subject of your discussion group?
The subject was television. The meeting was last night, and I already know about Burke's pentad. Inspector.
It was? You do? You must have seen my sketch, huh? They showed it to you. You like it, huh?
Well, Jenny showed it to him, and Fred was kind enough to take it to his group, and so we've got some audience feedback.
Great. Is that what all these papers are? Let me see. Oh, like it, did they, Fred? You see, there's a trick in educational TV. You have to be able to entertain and inform at the same time, and not a lot of people can do it. Let's see here. No. The show talked down to me. I don't like being talked down to. This show insults the intelligence of a 10-year-old. Well, naturally I had to simplify the concept a little bit, but, well, look, this critic misspells intelligence, huh? How old is he? Adam Garcia, age 12?
Cheer up, Norm. They're not all pens.
Ah, I like this show very much. It's even better than the Three Stooges. Three Stooges! Has anyone ever seen the award that I won from the New York City Ad Council? It happens to be for outstanding writing, and I did not get it for making up pratfalls for the Three Stooges.
Take it easy, Norm. You're an extremely gifted writer. We all know that, and the skit's still a good idea. It just needs reworking some.
And everybody did think it was funny, Norm.
Well, of course they did. Okay. I guess the sketch does need to be revised a little bit. I tell you what, Fred. You fix my chair, and I'll revise it.